Good evening and welcome to round 1 of the NXTGEN Racing iRacing League Season 20. 20 seasons NXTGEN has been hosting fantastic leagues, and for this celebratory occasion, this season will feature the Legends Ford 34 Coupe, one of the first cars you'll ever drive on iRacing, and it is featured in 12 rounds this season in the NXTGEN Season 20 iRacing edition here every Wednesday night for the next 11 weeks. Round 1 here comes to you from Brands Hatch Indy Circuit, a very popular track among British racing fans. Not a very long track at all, less than 2 kilometres in length is this Indy layout, just southeast of London, England's capital. So here we are, drivers out practicing quite a lot in the server at the moment. Lots of big names, lots of familiar names. If you're familiar with the Crest Autosport channels, if you're watching on YouTube or Twitch that is, you'll recognise a lot of the names in our own leagues as well as NXTGEN's leagues that we've broadcast in the past. There's a lot of quite famous names here, quite starstruck if I'm honest. The likes of Bobby Thompson, former British touring car driver, and Dave Newsham, of course, not to mention him as well. The NXTGEN residents in the likes of Jamie Dorey, who's the league host, and of course Lee Horne, who is very popular on the Crest Autosport channels. Lots of drivers to look out for in this series, in these very small cars. So a little bit about them. I've got the details here. Well, they were there anyway. They're very small cars, very light. The first ones you drive on iRacing in the oval editions of iRacing, only just over 100 brake horsepower and only a small Yamaha engine inside them. But on these small tracks they make for great racing, so no doubt we're going to see lots of bashing and lots of die-hard moves in tonight's racing. Not long to go until qualifying, so a little bit more housekeeping before we get underway. So without further ado, I'll introduce you to the series that we're going to be seeing on Wednesday nights on NXTGEN Racing for the next 11 weeks. We're starting here at the Brands Hatch Indy Circuit in Kent, then we're travelling north for next week's Donington National Circuit in Leicestershire. Then we're going to take a trip over the seas to America for the first of 3 visits there, to the Lime Rock Park, which is a free circuit. So what a great combo we have of a free car in the Legends that we're driving today, and the free track of Lime Rock Park in Connecticut, USA. Back over to the UK for the Alton Park Island Circuit in Cheshire, and back down south for the home of British motorsport, Silverstone, and the national layout for round 5. Halfway points, so there will be a break in between Silverstone and what will be round 6, Snetterton, the 200 layout, which is a layout that featured many years ago in all forms of motorsport that visited to Snetterton before its current layout, the 300 layout. The 200 layout is a still a very long course, but very basic, but it will be very exciting in these cars, definitely. Back over to the States for Daytona bike course, not road course, so it's a little bit of a different layout, should we say, of Daytona, not your conventional layout that you see synonymous with the Daytona 500. Then round 8, we're actually going over to Australia for what is a track that no longer exists. It is Horne Park, a track that was pretty much demolished some years ago, but still exists in the form of iRacing, and is a very cool track indeed. Similar to Suzuka, where it crosses over itself via a bridge. That's one to look out for. And then rounds 9 and 10 are going to be a little bit different. Round 9 will feature an oval, not just any oval, the Bristol Motor Speedway. Not Bristol in the UK, it is Bristol in Georgia, Tennessee, USA. And it's a very small oval, so all these cars, 20 plus cars on that oval in these cars anyway, it's going to be very exciting. And then round 10, slightly different. We're almost crossing over to all 4 mediums of iRacing's motorsports, but it will be the dirt oval of Lanier, which is in Georgia, which will be taking place at the end of the 11-week calendar. 10 rounds in total we have, which will be the final round of this championship. This championship's format will go as so. We're in practice at the moment. In 5 minutes time we'll go into a 10-minute qualifying session, which will follow immediately with a 15-minute sprint race. Then another 10-minute qualifying and a 15-minute sprint race. And then the final race of the day will be a top 10 reverse of the finishers in race 2 and a 15-minute sprint race. So no endurances, no thinking about fuel, no thinking about tyre conservation or anything like that. It is just flat out to the end in these short 15-minute races. So drivers to look out for in this race today. Well, top of the standings at the moment, Mike Doble in the 88 machine there. He's quickest at the times at the moment on a 52.586. Not too far ahead of former BTCC resident. Last season's trade price cars Audi driver had a massive crash at Croft, which unfortunately put him out of action for the rest of the season. Bobby Thompson is in second place. Behind Bobby Thompson is Crest Autosport representant, good old Ollie Peters, in third place there in the 121 machine. Michael Seal is in fourth at the moment in the faster eSports machine, followed by Dave Newsham, another former BTCC resident, and has actually driven these cars, I believe, in the flesh, in real life. He's fifth place at the moment, and the rest go as they are on the left of your screen there, as Dave Newsham takes a spin, putting on a bit of show for us, the audience. And drivers just taking it a little bit more casually as we're about to go into qualifying very, very shortly. But if you look at the standings there, the top 21 only separated by 1 second, less than 1 second. It is extraordinary how close these guys are when it comes to times. That is the kind of racing we're going to see today, where every tenth, every hundredth matters. You see Dave Newsham take another attempt going through Graham Hill Bend there, and when we get into qualifying we'll go into an onboard with some of these drivers to check out the Brands Hatch Indy circuit in all its glory. Three drivers in the server at the moment, most of which are British. The only non-British driver in here is Jochen Seigert in the very colourful livery. I was trying to find a way of describing it. Clown car, maybe? Not too sure. Reminds me of Krusty the Clown from The Simpsons, not Krusty Krab from SpongeBob. That's the kind of livery that reminds me of. That's Jochen Seigert of Germany racing with us today. Jamie Dorey in the pits at the moment, so we can't see him going around the track, but Jamie Dorey is our host for this league, so a big thank you to him for putting this season on. Puts in a lot of hard work, does Jamie, as does Lee, but as does everyone at NXTGEN, putting on great leagues for 20 seasons now, as we descend into qualifying. 10 minutes, as we mentioned earlier, and there's 2 qualifying sessions that will feature in today's racing. William Foyle, quite a popular character when it comes to the Crest Autosport channels if you are watching on YouTube and Twitch. William Foyle is someone we're fairly familiar with on these channels. The Crest Autosport Race Room Leagues and the NXTGEN Race Room Leagues. He's being followed by a man in the Mystery Machine. Not a mysterious man at all, it's Jeff Perkis. Likes to call himself Scooby G, thus the livery. I've got to look for that livery on Trading Paints later, it's very, very cool, actually. he makes his way past William Fall and through Paddock Hill Bend. What will be the final time as we're about to go into qualifying? So here we go. We cross over into the new session of qualifying, and drivers will leave the pits now. So out first on the track, that's Jochen Seiger going out there. That's Michael Seal we're watching there. As he comes out onto the track, followed by Dave Newsham and Ollie Peters behind him. There goes Jamie Dorey, just behind Matthew Addy there. We're watching in the Oreo livery. The driver I definitely want to get on board with around Brands Hatch is our celebrity driver himself in the Ivy Avenue livery there, Bobby Thompson. We see him come around Druids. Will catch up to him very, very shortly. Drivers weaving to get their tyres warmed up, and there's so many drivers out on such a small track. It's coming out of the final corner they go, so we'll get with Bobby Thompson, who's going to take us on a tour of the circuit of Brands Hatch. So here we go, on board with them, across the line we go, into Paddock Hill Bend we go now, down just one gear I believe, going round Paddock Hill Bend, and up towards Druids Bend we go now. Hard braking into the long right-hander. Down the hill we go towards Graham Hill Bend. Has seen many restructures over the years, has Graham Hill Bend. Through it he goes, taking plenty of the runoff area, as most drivers do. Coming up towards Surtees now, via the Cooper Straight, into the left-hander, now straight over to the right as we enter the Clark Curve. The Grand Prix circuit would have exited to the left of us a moment ago, around the long right-hander of Clark Curve, to end the very short lap here at the Indy circuit of Brands Hatch. That is a lap of the circuit in Kent by Bobby Thompson, and Bobby Thompson will come across the line to put himself in 11th at the moment, so not the greatest of opening. Sorry, he did put himself pole position. It was a bit of a delay on the standings there. And 52.6 miles ahead, in fact, of Seal so far. Very early on in this session, but plenty of time to go. It's still a pretty good and convincing time from Bobby Thompson early on here in this session. So who else is on a flyer? Matthew Addy there. See how he'll get on. Matthew Addy beats his personal best in Sector 2, a little bit down in Sector 1. And across the line goes Matthew Addy to put it into 15th at the moment. We are watching Ollie Peters there in 6th place. Mikey Dobble coming around the final corner, he's 2nd at the moment, in the same livery as Thompson. He'll come across the line. Will he go any quicker? Yes, he does. He goes to the top of the standings with a 53.658, just 26 thousandths of a second quicker than Bobby Thompson. Very close between the two Ivy Avenue drivers. Down the hill goes Mikey, and Matt Allen, not on a personal best, will come across the line and hopefully get himself a bit quicker. Bobby Thompson coming out the final corner, got a draft with the faster machine in front of him, number 27, excuse me. Across the line he goes. Thompson will start a new lap now. Up the hill, going into Druids, behind the number 27 machine he was of Adam Gale. Gavin Allen now we were watching, but we're back with Bobby Thompson. He's real close with Matt Allen. Anyone else on a good split at the moment? Try and keep an eye on it. And Michael Seal came across the line to put himself 3rd place. Dave Newsham has also put himself 5th place at the moment. 1/4 of a second behind the top spot at the moment. Someone we haven't mentioned yet, Freddie Hewitt, has put himself into 6th place in the Fast Arm machine. I believe he's got a teammate not too far behind him there. Gavin Allen got himself in between Hewitt and the driver behind him. I can't quite tell the number 17 behind him, which is Matt Allen. I wonder if there's any relation between him and Gavin Allen we're watching here. And Ollie Peters has just has got himself in 7th place. Morgan Short had just put himself into 9th place. Jamie Dorey into 11th. The host of this season. A lot of people have just put themselves in the top 10. One of them is Colin Martin and Dan Holland. So both of them drafting each other to get themselves into the top 10. Very impressive from them. Drivers yet to set times. We'll take a look. I believe everyone has set a time actually. Well, everyone a few people haven't actually. Matthew Addy, David Whitehouse and Tom Porter haven't set times yet. And up to 5th place goes Freddie Hewitt. Just come across the line. There's Gavin Allen back in 8th place. In the 17 machine ahead of him, of Matt Allen there. Bobby Thompson is on pit exit there, so he's got just under 3 minutes to go to try and get himself into pole position. Watching Jamie Dorey here in the 13 machine, going through Clark Curve here. And Lee Horne, his teammate, we're now watching in the 36 machine, down in 13th at the moment. And Dave Newsham has just come across the line. He's in 6th place still, 1/4 of a second off, hasn't improved his time yet. But we'll go back with Lee Horne. Come around the final corner, see if he can bump himself up the order. Across the line goes Lee Horne, doesn't improve his time, 3/10 off his former personal best. And who else has snuck themselves into the top 10 without us seeing? Matt Allen has got himself much higher as he'll cross the line to do another lap here. He's got himself up to 4th place, but no one getting quite enough close to the top 2. In fact, Bobby Thompson has got a little bit closer, half a 10th behind his teammate Mikey Dogle. And now watching Ollie Peters, and behind him is Dan Holland. Not many green times coming up on our timing tower here. It's getting real close to crunch time as we approach the final minute of qualifying here. At the moment it's in Doble's hands. Matt Allen behind the 99 machine there. And Jeff Perkis in the mystery machine. Oh, there's a spin back there from car number 15. Just catching up with Dave Whitehouse, down in 22nd at the moment in the Club 100 livery. Club 100 brings back many memories for me. He'll get away and he'll try again. He'll definitely get one more lap to have a go at setting a new lap time. Jeff Perkis about to complete a lap. Matt Allen right behind the 99 machine of Gavin Allen. I do wonder if they're related. I said that earlier. They've also got number 12 behind them, which is Freddie Hewitt. Freddie Hewitt is right behind Allen in the standings as the number 18 car pulls off there. That was Morgan Short, the Jack Daniels livery, but Mikey Doble seems to think he's done enough. He's in the pits, and then the moment he has, across the line go these collective of cars. Not many have gone quicker. In fact, Matt Allen remains in fourth. He could not get in front of Michael Seal ahead of him. Michael Seal, who is doing another lap. He'll come around the final corner now. And it looks to be that he hasn't got himself up on his previous. But that will conclude qualifying, as the drivers will return to the pits. Lee Horne is coming through Graham Hill Bend, but nope, that'll be it. That'll be all for qualifying. And it is Mikey Doble who puts himself on pole position in the 88 machine. Bobby Thompson will be alongside. We'll have the grid and results up for you very, very shortly. But a very interesting qualifying indeed. And if you look at the standings, the top 20 all within a second. Very, very exciting indeed. And there we go. The racing will begin very, very shortly. So without further ado, here is the grid for today's sprint race, race 1. Mikey Doble on pole position with Bobby Thompson alongside. Row 2, Michael Seal with Matt Allen in 4th. Freddie Hewitt in 6th with Dave Newsham in 6th. Morgan Short in 7th with Ollie Peters in 8th. Gavin Allen in 9th with Colin Martin in 10th. Dan Holland and Jamie Dorey will line up in 11th and 12th. And in 13th and 14th, Lee Horne and Richard Pocklington. 15th and 16th, Jackins and Gale. 17th and 18th, Addy and Seigert. Perkis and Delaney in 19th and 20th. Will Foyle in 21st. Whitehouse 22nd. And line up at the back is Tom Porter. We're about to get underway here at Brands Hatch Indy, the opening race of the day. So here we go. Lights are showing. Drivers have lined up. There's someone missing back there. We'll find out very shortly. But away they go. Lights are green. Away they go here at Brands Hatch. Michael Doble gets away, but Bobby Thompson is on his outside going into Graham Hill Bend. And Bobby Thompson might take an early lead here. I think he has done. Bobby Thompson gets in front coming around Paddock Hill Bend. But lap 1 and into Druids he leads. Further down the order, we've got Freddie Hewitt there on the inside of Morgan Short. Coming out of Druids now. Everyone seems to have got away very, very cleanly. A bit of losing shape back there, further back in the field, but all get through fairly safe and sound. Bobby Thompson leads ahead of Doble coming into the second half of the circuit. Ahead of his teammate Matt Allen there in 3rd, up 1 place past Seal. Round the final corner they go, and they'll end the first lap here at Brands Hatch. Bobby Thompson leads the opening lap of the opening round of the season. Dave Newsham down to 9th, down 3 places from the start there, but ahead of him Jamie Dorey has climbed 4 places, but is the man back in 14th who's gained the most places on the opening lap. It is Tom Delaney there in 14th, up 6 places. Battling further back here, that's Ollie Peters battling with Dan Holland, and he's got Lee Horne behind him as well. He'll set his sights on the car ahead of him, which is Dave Newsham. who's right behind Jamie Dorey. And there's a driver in the pits already. I believe that's Jackins. Back here, we've got William Ford battling with Jeff Perkis here. This is the battle for 19th. Side by side, coming through the corner, and Will Ford completes the move by the looks of it. Disappearing car in the background there. Technical difficulties for one driver. But look at this. Line of 5 coming across the start-finish line to end lap 2. Headed by Dave Newsham in 8th place. Jamie Dorey behind him. Ollie Peters behind him. Ollie Peters with a dreadful start so far, dropping 2 places from 8th. Oh, and wide went Newsham. Jamie Dorey got the undercut alongside, coming down towards Graham Hill Bend, but not able to get past just yet. He has got Ollie Peters in the blue machine behind him, and he slipped sideways. Did Ollie Peters coming out of Graham Hill Bend, and he'll lose even more positions. Not a great start for Peters in this race. Dan Holland having to recover, lost a little bit of ground for the cars ahead of him, but it's the front 2 still pretty much nose to tail, but they're not leaving behind. There's a car off in the background there. We just get a replay of it. I think it was Pocklington coming into Jim Clark curve. Just took a little bit too much curb. Oh, and it was contact from Seigert behind him. And a little bit of technical difficulties as well for Pocklington, which probably didn't help. But Seigert and him went off and into the gravel trap there on Jim Clark curve on the previous lap. Back with Ollie Peters, who has dropped a total of 4 places so far. The greatest start for him. Back in the front, Bobby Thompson versus Mikey Double and Matt Allen. This is the battle for top spot. They seem to have left behind Michael Seal at the moment, who's fending off Freddie Hewitt. Looking back, here's Ollie Peters again, trying to hunt down Lee Horne. He's got himself up 2 places so far to 11th. And Holland now 10th place, hunting down Jamie Dorey. He's got 2 next gen machines right in between him in that fluorescent green livery, the 21 machine. Let's keep an eye on the front as well. Look at that, Mikey Double got a good exit coming out of Graham Hill Bend, coming into Jim Clark curve. It's not really an easy overtaking opportunity, but if you go wide like someone did there, that was Matt Allen, went very, very wide going into Jim Clark, and that has lost him many positions. But there's been a leader change as Mikey Double takes the lead up the inside, as we saw of Bobby Thompson to take the lead. But let's see if we can get a replay of Matty Allen going off track just to see what happened. Pushing hard on the front 2, but he just came away from the apex a little bit too early. But these 2 are in the clear. Granted, they're swapping positions a fair bit, but maybe now's the time for them to get their heads down and drive away if they are teammates. Bobby Thompson, being the BTCC competitor he is, will he allow Double to get the better of him in this race? We'll find out. Michael Seal back in where he started, 3rd place in the Fastar Esports machine. And has got Freddie Hewitt behind him, who's gained 1 place in the start. Matt Allen behind him was battling for the lead 1 lap ago. Now down in 5th, a long way back. And in these cars, there's not much power in them, and you can take them quite quickly through these corners, so there's not much time to gain in these, but there's plenty of time to lose. It's rather difficult to race these, and Dave Newsham there, locking up the brakes. Ahead of him was Morgan Short, but up the inside of Gavin Allen went Dave Newsham, but Allen's coming back. He did have the inside, but could not hang on to it, went a bit sideways going through the Graham Hill Bend. Oh, and that's a car off. That's Seal. Oh, and a real mangled car, the front end off of that car. So we'll just get a replay of what happened there. Can we find one? Yes, we can. Oh, just too wide on the grass. Oh no, I'm surprised it's still going, that car. And he is coming into the pits. In fact, that will be a repair job ready for race 2 for his mechanics. But that promotes many drivers up many places, including one Jamie Dorey here in 7th, just guarding off from Alan behind him. Holland as well is there with Lee Horne behind him and Ollie Peters behind him. 5-way battle for 7th here. Headed by Jamie Dorey in the orange and black NXTGEN machine. Oh, coming very close between the two green cars here of 99 and 21. Alan versus Holland. And look at that, Ollie Peters back there as well, getting rather closer to Lee Horne. And these two at the front still heading the way, and in fact have broken out a huge, nearly a 3-second gap ahead of Hewitt, but just not quite bump drafting, but helping each other get away from the pack behind are these two. And this battle still raging on. No one making the big move just yet, but all of them taking different lines, trying to get an advantage on one another, trying to get undercuts, overcuts, trying to get better speed coming out of the corner, trying to get better braking into the corner. And there's absolutely nothing you can modify on these cars. There's no brake bias, no traction control or anything like that. And wide goes the 18 car. That's Morgan Short there. Just find out what happened to him here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, even further back. Oh, Dave Newsham, a little bit of contact on the rear, and that just sent Short wide. Oh, that'd be a minimal amount of contact, and that was it. Short down to 11th at the moment. This battle rages on, and they've gained another place, all of these drivers. And look at that, that's Ollie Peters on the inside of Lee Horne. Just missed that, so can we get a replay of that? Yes, we can. Oh, big lock-up on the brakes by Ollie Peters, but he's made it through. Let's catch up with them, see what's escalated since then. And Ollie Peters back behind Lee Horne. So it must have been going through Graham Hill Bend that they still were side by side. Lee Horne hangs on to the position, but they dropped a little bit from the drivers ahead of them, of Dorey, Holland and Alan. Alan in the middle of the three there. And look at this. Ollie Peters on the inside of Lee Horne going into Paddock Hill Bend. Brilliantly executed move so far. We'll have the inside going into Druids. Yes, he will. And we've just got to keep an eye on in front as Jamie Dorey went wide coming out of Druid, and that allows Gavin Allen to get alongside, not quite ahead. Jamie Dorey hangs on, but is Allen able to get the undercut? Holland tried himself to get the undercut, but he couldn't. Jamie Dorey just about hangs on. And look back here, Ollie Peters trying the outside. Oh, very brave move there. Will he get the later braking going on the inside? He locks up just a little bit, but hanging on to his Dan Holland, just keeping his foot down around the outside of the corner, taking all of the road. And look at this, just ahead, Gavin Allen on Jamie Dorey. You would have thought this is the battle for the lead. It's not quite. This is the battle for 6th place, and on the inside, Gavin Allen has Jamie Dorey, but Dorey is hard round the outside, keeping hold of it. Wow, it's almost like watching IndyCar, where having the outside line sometimes is better. Jamie Dorey keeping it wide, going through Druids. The inside there is taken by Allen. Got Ollie Peters joining the gang now. Into Graham Hill Bend they go. Ollie Peters really on a roll now. He's really got things hooked up as Lee Horne twisting and sliding back there. Manages to keep hold of it. Ollie Peters is now joining in with this battle for 6th place. Oh, and look at who else has just come up the inside. It is Dan Holland on the inside of Ollie Peters, keeping it, getting it a little bit out of shape. And back there, someone who dropped back many laps ago, Morgan Short, is now on the inside of Dan Holland. So Dan Holland trying the inside, went a little bit wide. That allowed Short up the inside. Here he goes for Paddock Hill Bend. Into 9th place he'll go, but will he hang on to it? By the looks of it, he has completed the move. He takes 9th place from Dan Holland. Just to find out what's going on up ahead, we've still got a battle for 3rd raging on as Dave Newsham back here is reeling them in, but it's Matt Allen versus Freddie Hewitt. They might be slowing each other down, what is causing Dave Newsham to catch up. And ahead goes Freddie Hewitt. Very well executed move, and Dave Newsham joins the party here. He'll want to get in amongst it with the final few minutes. 3.5 minutes to go in this session. He'll try and get himself onto the podium. Back with this battle for 6th place. Nearly a 6-car train. A bit dispersed, but we'll see if it hottens up. And there has been a crash from David Whitehouse back here, further down the order. Oh, and just spun it coming through. Jim Clark. It's a spin right in the middle of the track. Once you get these things on the grass, that is it. You can't really save them. But hopefully Dave Whitehouse gets it to the end. Oh, and Ollie Peters wide there. Can he keep hold of it? Oh, just about he can, but he will lose loads of positions, loads of time. He drops all the way to 11th. Just one wheel on the grass, and that has caused him to lose all that time and position. Down to 11th he goes. And that promotes Morgan Short up 1 place, and he can now set his sights on the 2 ahead of him of Gavin Allen and Jamie Dorey. Into Paddock Hill Bend. 2.5, just shy of 2.5 minutes to go. Jamie Dorey taking his conventional wider line, and look at that, Ollie Peters up the inside of Lee Horne. We have seen the outside line has been better because you have the inside line for Graham Hill Bend, but Lee Horne slops behind, back behind Ollie Peters, who gets the position back into the top 10 for Ollie Peters. Now the thing is, the next race, we will be going for a quick intermission between these 2 races, but the next race is another qualifying session, so these guys will have to put in another big shift of sprint qualifying times to get himself further up the grid. But that'll be the race where they have to worry about top 10 reverse grids. Back at the front, it's a battle for the lead again, raging on, and Bobby Thompson got on the outside of Michael Dobble. So close between these two. This is the battle for the lead in the final few minutes of the session. Bobby's waited till this moment to make his move by the looks of it. And he'll come with presumably 1 lap to go after this one. Into Jim Clark we go. Look how close they are. A little bit of contact between the two. And in fact, Bobby Thompson might have put Double wide and through into the position he goes. I'm not sure if there was contact there, but Bobby still gets himself into the lead now with what could be 1 lap to go. In fact, I think there will be. He guards the inside as they start the final lap here. Lap 17. Into Paddock Hill Bend. Thompson guards off the inside. Trying the undercut is Double. He's got the outside now. The outside line we've seen is one of the better ones. Look at that, and both sideways drifting it through Druids. Oh, and there's a bit of contact there, and they nearly took each other out. The wheels hooked and the bumpers hooked, but he's still hanging on to the inside. Is Double. Through the corner they go, and they still hang on to the positions. Thompson still has the lead as they go into the final corner. He's got a bit of a gap ahead of Double now. Into the final corner, he's gone a bit wide, but he'll hang on to it. Bobby Thompson will come round and he'll take the win in this opening race of season 20 here in the iRacing Legends, hosted by NXTGEN. What a brilliant battle between him and Double for 2nd and 1st place. Hewitt will come across the line in 3rd, gaining 2 places from the start. Allen will come across where he started in 4th. Dave Newsham crosses the line in 5th, and this brilliant battle for 6th concludes with Jamie Dorey taking 6th, having gained 6 places in the race. Gavin Allen 7th, Morgan Short took 8th, Ollie Peters 9th, Lee Horne in 10th. Great racing that between all these drivers. Matthew Addy taking 11th in the Oreo machine there. Adam Gale in 12th. Dan Holland took 13th with Thomas Delaney in 14th. And there we go. There are your results of today's race 1. Bobby Thompson, as we saw it, took the win ahead of Mikey Double and Freddie Hewitt in 3rd place. 4th place was Matt Allen and Dave Newsham in 5th place. Coming up next, we have another qualifying session and another sprint race We'll be going for a quick break now, and we'll be back very, very shortly with race 2 and qualifying number 2. Don't go away. We'll be right back. The GP Box is an online marketplace for motorsports merchandise and memorabilia. Browse for a whole range of motorsports products in all forms of motorsport. Take Formula 1 for example. There is a whole section dedicated to Formula 1 products from your favourite drivers, cars, teams or tracks from all eras of Formula 1. There are more series available, including WRC if you are a rally fan. You can even search for your favourite form of motorsport to see what products they have in your favourite forms of motorsport. Or, if yourself are a retailer in motorsport, you could set up your own shop within the GP Box to open up your products to a much bigger motorsport audience. Find out more at thegpbox.com. The GP Box is an online marketplace for motorsports, merchandise and memorabilia. Browse for a whole range of motorsports products in all forms of motorsport. Take Formula 1 for example. There is a whole section dedicated to Formula 1 products from your favourite drivers, cars, teams or tracks from all eras of Formula 1. There are more series available, including WRC if you are a rally fan. You can even search for your favourite form of motorsport to see what products they have in your favourite forms of motorsport. Or, if yourself are a retailer in motorsport, you could set up your own shop within the GP Box to open up your products to a much bigger motorsport audience. Find out more at thegpbox.com. The GP Box is an online marketplace for motorsports, merchandise and memorabilia. Browse for a whole range of motorsports products in all forms of motorsport. Take Formula 1 for example. There is a whole section dedicated to Formula 1 products from your favourite drivers, cars, teams or tracks from all eras of Formula 1. There are more series available, including WRC if you are a rally fan. You can even search for your favourite form of motorsport to see what products they have in your favourite forms of motorsport. Or, if yourself are a retailer in motorsport, you could set up your own shop within the GP Box to open up your products to a much bigger motorsport audience. Find out more at thegpbox.com. Welcome back to Brands Hatch, and race 2 will be coming up very, very shortly. Hopefully in the races going forward we'll have a bit of a smaller break than that, but we're back and qualifying will be coming up shortly. So a little bit of housekeeping before we get underway with more racing. This is the season we're going to be undertaking. We've got 30 races in total to see throughout the season. It starts here today at Brands Hatch. One over and done with already, won by Bobby Thompson. Another 2 races today, and then next week's 1 week today will be at the Donington Park National Layout in Leicestershire. 2 weeks from today we'll be at Lime Rock Park, one of the first tracks I ever driven on iRacing, over in Connecticut, USA. Round 4 will be Alton Park Island Layout, very popular layout in the British Touring Car Championship, as is Round 5, the Silverstone National Layout. A quick break, or 1 week break should we say, after Round 5, and then Round 6 will resume at Snetterton 200 Layout. Round 7 will feature the Daytona Bike Course. Not your conventional road course, but the bike layouts that they use at Daytona. Oran Park, the I would say fictional, but it once did exist layout in Australia. It's a circuit that now doesn't exist very much. Round 9, the Bristol Motor Speedway Oval. So we have circuit races all season long until Round 9, where we swap over to the ovals, and your conventional tarmac oval featured in Round 9 of Bristol, and then we have a dirt oval for Round 10 to tail it all off. So we've got 3 of the 4 mediums of iRacing featured in this one series. And as we mentioned, the layout for and format for tonight, we've had race 1 and qualifying. Now we're going to have another qualifying session, 15-minute sprint race yet again, and then we'll go for a quick intermission. We're back for another race where the top 10 is reversed from the results of race 2 to form the grid for race 3, and that'll be another 15-minute sprint race. So here we are at Brands Hatch Indy, the very, very small layout for these very, very small cars. The Legends Ford 34 Coupe. Nearly 90 years of heritage behind these cars, and they are one of the first cars you will drive on iRacing if you are an oval fan. They are a free car with the sim. The only thing that's not free is iRacing subscription, and everyone's in the session. We have moved on to qualifying, I do believe. Yes, we have. So here we go, qualifying has begun, and the drivers will leave the pits and head out on track. So a slight weather change, I believe it's cooler. An air temp of 23 degrees by the looks of it, and a track temp of 39 degrees. So still fairly warm underfoot. drivers head out onto what is now a more overcast circuit. Definitely look into the sky, much darker and much harder to see these guys. I was thinking of bumping up the brightness, to be honest, but never mind. It's just the weather playing tricks on us there. So, race 1 winner, Bobby Thompson, heads out on his own in this session to start what will be another set of flying laps to get himself back onto the front grid is what he'll target, as Freddie Hewitt has finished his first flying lap. Now that'll be one coming straight out of the pits, so they will all come dramatically and further down in terms of times as they complete this next lap. So going wide there, the Oreo machine of Matthew Addy. We're taken by Gale there. So we have got Freddie Hewitt about to complete his first flying lap. He comes across the line now, and he'll put himself up top with a 53.3. Now the fastest time we saw in session 1 was a 59.9. Oh, sorry, a 51.9. Sorry, a 52.9. Correct myself many times there. But Ollie Peters has got himself in there early on. A bit of a disappointing race 1 is what I heard in the Discord channel in between the races. He gets himself into the 52.9s, but it has been picked to pole position so far. Bobby Thompson, the man himself, at 52.7. That's going to take some beating from the former BTCC driver. And a lot of smoke kicking about with drivers spinning, going slow back there. Was quite a few cars. I think that was in fact Jamie Dorey who took a spin coming out of Drury's, the man who was quite entertaining in race 1 of the night, as he will come to a stop. I think there's a damaged front right, we can see there. Just a bit buckled, the front right steering wheel is, and the front left, so I don't know if it's a camber playing tricks on me, but he's moving very, very slowly as Jamie will probably have to reset and go back to the pits and get a new car. But Ollie Peters gets himself back up top, and now Bobby Thompson gets himself back up top. It's a squabble between Peters and Thompson at the moment, but Peters really bringing it to the BTCC driver, as double the race 1 battalion, who finished second, puts himself third at the moment, 2 tenths down from his teammate Thompson, but he'll come across the line very shortly now to complete another lap. Will he go higher? Yes, he will. He put himself into second place, half a tenth ahead of Peters, but still 1.5 tenths behind his teammate Bobby Thompson, who is in the pits. No, he's not. He's coming out of the final corner. He did say he was in the pits on my telemetry here. Do pardon me. Vanessa Poole, I can see, is in the comments of this. Dave Newsham in 10th place at the moment. Going very wide, going into Drury's there. Oh dear, and that's really messed up his time. Into the gravel he goes, and he'll probably have to reset back to the pits. But pole position has been taken away from Thompson and Peters in the form of Michael Seal. He's got himself into pole position on a 52.5, so the track is a little bit quicker now, I believe. And the sun's come out a little bit. It's all brightened up here in Kent, which is rare. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, a considerably brighter track now, which means that the track will probably heat up quite a bit. Bobby Thompson only 5 thousandths of a second behind Seal's time, so only a little bit needed to get himself quicker as he goes up the inside of the Oreo machine there of Matthew Addy. See what else can happen here. Ollie Peters on an out lap, so he's got fresh rubber on as we're up into the halfway point. Bobby Thompson will come back into the pits. He did not go any quicker. Neither did Michael Seal, and they're all getting fresh rubber. Michael Seal's pulling off also to get fresh rubber. A car spinning in front of him, the number 9 machine of David Whitehouse. Spinning coming through Paddock Hill Bend there. Now, who else have we got to look out for? Matt Allen, he was very impressive in race 1, battling with Jamie Dorey. He's in 5th place there. Colin Martin, a disappointing race 1. He dropped down the order early on. I think he's in 6th. Jamie Dorey's down in 11th at the moment. He'll be hoping for better than that, as he did finish in the top 5 in the previous race. Matthew Addy 20th at the moment. He's crossing the line shortly, but we've skipped to Lee Horne, who's broken into the top 10. Half a second off top spot, but still in the top 10 when it comes to qualifying, nonetheless. He's following behind the man who's behind him on the standings, but ahead of him on track. Alan just ahead of him in the 99 machine. We switch over back to Jamie Dorey. Dave Newsham has put himself into 6th place with a quicker time there. 0.325 behind the top spot. And a lock-up going into Druids, pushing very hard is Newsham. Watching Jamie Dorey as he follows Ollie Peters. 4th at the moment is Ollie. Ollie comes across the line, doesn't go any quicker. Jamie Dorey, I don't think, did either. Mr. number 13 is still in 13th. Unlucky for some, not where Jamie Dorey will want to be right now. Horne knocked down to 10th as Dan Holland has put himself into 9th. And again, just to point out the small difference in the times, the top 18 are only separated by 0.8 of a second. Michael Seal came across the line then, didn't go any quicker, but he has got his teammate behind him, the number 4 machine of Freddie Hewitt, helping him along, both in the Fast R Esports machines. See where Thompson is coming out of the pits again. He's gone in for fresh rubber yet again. We'll try again. He's only 9 thousandths off, so he just needs to get himself a little bit quicker. Morgan Short, who had a little bit of drama in race 1, getting bumped wide going through the Jim Clark curve. He's in 7th, locking up going into Druids, behind Jamie Dorey ahead of him. But he's 7th at the moment. He'll be pleased with that, as it's a fair repeat of race 1. Jackins, who we haven't mentioned much, has got himself into 15th there with his quickest off the session. Just behind Jamie Dorey, Jochen Seigert, who had a bit of drama in race 1 also. He's in 13th in the very colourful 148 machine. Lee Horne has been bumped off 11th spot, top 10 spot. He's in 11th. Dan Holland, he will try desperately to get a little bit quicker. Bobby Thompson has completed the time, but has not gone quicker just yet. It is Michael Seal, and I think he only managed 4th in qualifying in the previous race. So this is a huge improvement with only 1 minute left in the session. And just gone a bit quicker. Dan Holland ahead of him has got himself from 10th up to 6th. A brilliant final phase time from Holland there. Let's see what else is going on. Alan's gone into the pits. Thompson's in the pits. Basically, oh no, he's not. No, he's not. I'm not sure what was going on there. It said he was in the pits, but he's not. But he completes a lap and he'll have one more stab at it. Jamie Dorey has gone quicker down there in 12th, but stays 12th. Lee Horne is still ahead of him. We must keep an eye on Bobby Thompson. We have Michael Seal still out there setting times. Mikey Double is not too far up the road from Thompson. We've got Ollie Peters to look out for as well. So Michael Seal, I think, has come across the line. He hasn't gone any quicker. Over to Bobby Thompson, who's going slow. That'll be it for Thompson, but Michael Double, will he get himself further up the grid? He seems convinced. Across the line, he did go quicker, but it's still 3rd for him. Ollie Peters behind him, didn't go any quicker. Or has he gone any quicker? No, he hasn't. Not far off his time, but that will be the top 4 sealed. Dan Dan Holland, unless he can do something about it. We'll see what he can do. He's a 10th off of 4th. So really you've got to say 5th is the most realistic for him. He comes across the line, doesn't go any quicker. Neither does Hewitt, neither does Seal. So there we go, that'll be the grid formed for the second race of the night. New pole sitter Michael Seal, who was 4th in qualifying, I believe, in the previous race. This is where he'll start, the pole spot ahead of Bobby Thompson. Another second place start for him. And Mikey Double from 1st to 3rd in qualifying. Ollie Peters with a much better qualifying session there. He'll be very pleased with that. So there we go. This will be the grid for the next race of today. Michael Seal on pole position with Bobby Thompson alongside him in 2nd position. Mikey Double in 3rd with Ollie Peters improving dramatically to 4th. Matt Allen in 5th and Dan Holland in 6th. Dave Newsham will line up 7th alongside Morgan Short. Colin Martin will line up 9th with Freddie Hewitt in 10th. Both next-gen drivers Lee Horne and Jamie Dorey 11th and 12th. Gavin Allen and Jochen Seigert in 4th position. 13th and 14th position, excuse me. Jamie Jakins and Jeff Perkis 15th, 16th. 17th and 18th for the 9th row, Pocklington and Gale. The 10th row, William Foyle and Thomas Delaney. 21st and 22nd, Matthew Addy and David Whitehouse. And on the final row of the grid, Tom Porter. So here we go, we're about to get underway for the second race of the night. So here we go, lights are going to turn red now. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, green. And green. Away they go here. And it's a good start for Thompson as he's already on the outside of Michael Seal going into turn 1. And ahead he goes into the lead, and Ollie Peters is up there trying to get himself into 3rd early on. What a start from Bobby Thompson. Away he goes. And that's a terrible start for Seal as he's under trouble from Double and Peters behind him. Peters around the outside of Double. Coming round Druids, everyone goes, and they seem to be getting through rather safely yet again, which is rather impressive from this group of drivers in these tricky cars. But there is a spin at Graham Hill Bend. That's the 66 machine of Colin Martin and Dave Newsham dropping down the order. A spin coming through the corner there. Now we'll have to see what actually happens between the two there. Wasn't it? Let's see if we can find it. So there we go. Going across the... Oh, just a little bit of contact on Dave Newsham brought him round, I believe. So let's catch up. Let's catch up with the top two, who are, well, some... Let's mix up my standings here, because that is definitely not the standings. So let's try again. It says Ollie Peters at the top, but he definitely isn't. Well, it is definitely Bobby Thompson in the lead. Click on him, he's up front there. Pulling away from Michael Seal behind, who's alongside. Oh, and up the inside goes Ollie Peters. Says first on the stands he's not, he's 4th, battling for 3rd on the inside of Double at the moment. And up into Paddock Hill Bend they go, and there we go. This time is starting to sort itself out, and Bobby Thompson just pulling away at the front there. Michael Seal just about Seal's 2nd place at the moment. And Michael Double hangs on to 3rd ahead of Ollie Peters, who having a much better round here. Did say he was rather disappointed with his race 1 performance. There's a swap of positions back there. Lee Horne seems to have dropped down to 9th place behind Freddie Hewitt. A good start for Lee Horne though, up a few places. Biggest mover so far is Tom Porter, up 8 places for him. From the back, I believe. Watching Dan Holland. Part of the brilliant battle that was the battle for 5th place. It was 8th place, then 7th place, then 6th, then 5th place. But look at this, further up here we have got Seal on the outside, and Double has managed to get up the inside, going into Paddock Hill Bend. Ollie Peters trying to capitalise and get the inside as well, but Double takes second place. Into Druids. And Matt Allen, we're going to look back here in 5th place, cruising up towards this three-way battle for second, as Bobby Thompson in the distance just pulling away. The winner of race 1 looking very firm in race 2 right now. The man, would you believe, without a drive as at the moment in the British touring cars. Final corner, Ollie Peters getting a good run out of the Jim Clark curve there. Right up on the bumper of Michael Seal. I'll tell you what, we haven't done it yet. Let's get an on board from Ollie Peters' view. See ahead of him, that's Seal ahead of him. Into Druids. Down the hill we go. It's a very fascinating livery in front. The gold strips down the middle of that faster Esports Legends machine, and a big run coming out of the Graham Hill Bend here. Will it be enough to get up the inside? No, it won't. He'll try a different move, maybe later braking going into Jim Clark curve. Takes to the outside, but not to be. The thing is with these cars, they're so tricky to handle, and getting a run on someone is so difficult because there's such low horsepower. And they go so fast around these corners in comparison to their top speed anyway. Still one of the biggest movers is Tom Porter, as is Matthew Addy, as is William Bull. He's got himself up to 13th at the moment. Very impressive from him. Matthew Addy also doing well. Didn't have a good qualifying session, but he's up to 15th at the moment. Tom Porter dropped a few places since we reported on him a few laps ago. 17th. Back at the battle for second as Double gets away a little bit from Michael Seal. Michael Seal, who's probably got in his mirror the blue Crest Autosport machine of Ollie Peters all over him. Into Paddock Hill Bend they go, and the gap between Double and Thompson is 1.6 seconds. We'll monitor that closely, see if we can see that dropping as it does through Druids there, but it's fairly hard to tell on one corner whether a gap is decreasing or increasing, so we'll find out at the end of the lap. Very close between these two, Seal and Peters. Seal ahead of the two in the 61 machine. And you'll see all the different lines everybody has taken. That's purely because it's quite a wide track compared to such a narrow car. You can take unconventional lines to try and get the better of your opponent. Let's have a look further down the order. Jamie Dorey, who was ahead of the battle for 5th in race 1, didn't have such a good qualifying. Qualified 12th, but him and Lee have both gained 2 places. Lee is a bit further on from him, battling with Michael Shaw at the moment. Let's catch up with these two up front here. Michael Dobble is just pulling away from these, and Ollie Peters has actually got up the inside and potentially past. He has got past, but Seal is under trouble from Allen now, who's on the inside. We will see how Ollie Peters got past once this has concluded. And, oh no! Oh no! There was big contact between Seal and Allen. The bumpers got hooked, and that sent Allen off into the gravel trap, and he just about avoided the tyres. He keeps it going miraculously. Brilliant driving as there's still dust on his tyre. You can see it streaming off the tyre, and wide there, back there goes Allen. Not sure why he went wide there, but he did. Anyway, Matt Allen has dropped way back, and he has just pushed wide Jamie Dorey, I think. I think the tyres still worrying Matt Allen, but we'll see what happened between them two. So here we go, going into Paddock Bend. And it was Matt Allen just came out of the apex when Seal didn't, but if I'll go back live now, Seal has actually slowed down to let by Allen. So what Seal has done, he's realised that was his fault, or he thought it was his fault, and he's let him back through. That's true sportsmanship from Seal, you have got to say. But they'll resume their battle further down the order, granted, but the place was given back to Allen, but takes it back, having battled again as soon as he relinquished it. Seal down in 8th now, that promotes Peters to 3rd. He did take 3rd anyway, but he's in the clear now, in 3rd, and he can focus on trying to catch up with the front two. Thompson lost a 10th or 2 from Dobble, but it's not much to worry about with 6 minutes to go. You'll just have to hang on to it. A potential battle brewing for 4th place here as Hewitt is just ahead of Holland, Short and Lee Horne. Lee Horne having a real good race here, up 4 places. And a battle going on back here. Look at this. Jackins in the middle there. Jamie Dorey just behind them. That's Gavin Allen in the green machine as well. Into Graham Hill Bend they go. And wide there went Jackins, trying to take the runoff strip coming out of Graham Hill Bend, which you can do. Jamie Dorey on the outside of Gavin Allen and takes the position. Into 11th he goes, and he can now make his way towards the number 10 machine. By the way, the green rims in that Legend look very, very good on that next gen machine, you've got to say. My one observation of the day that's probably irrelevant to this racing. Let's see what else is going on. Now, I think there's a little bit of damage on Matt Allen's car. In fact, there is. The rear left and front left wheel arch are missing, which will affect the handling a huge amount on that car. But we have to look to the battle back here. This is Dorey versus Allen versus Jackins, and Dorey gets himself into the top 10, past Jackins. Let's see if we can get a replay of that, because that was quite an impressive move. Can't find it. That was it. We are coming up towards Druids. Yep, just on the inside, a good run coming out of Paddock Hill Bend, and got past him on the inside. Very conventional overtake, even for these cars. Now Jackins now guarding off from the green machine of Allen, and Allen gets through. Oh, and the undercut from Jackins and bumps him off. That's a bump off from Allen. He spins it or rejoins a little bit unsafely, but that'll drop him down to the order. Let's see if we can get a replay of that. Yeah, there we go. He managed to get up the inside. And the undercut attempted. Yeah, the line was guarded off by Allen, so the stewards might be having a word later on with the driver. Now, we've got to look up here. Now, the timing screen playing tricks on me. It did swap Bobby Thompson around, but he is being caught by Dobble. You have to say he'll be in trouble in the next few minutes. Ollie Peters there has just lapped the car of the next gen car behind him. That's Tom Porter behind him. This battle raging on for what is 4th place, but quite distant from 4th. Horne right behind Morgan Short. Morgan in the Jack Daniels livery there. Into Paddock Hill Bend. Just over 2 minutes to go. Bobby Thompson is your leader again. ahead of his teammate, presumably his teammate, Michael Dobell behind him. And there may be another battle raging on between these two, and we have to get a replay because Michael Seiger, who was batting for the lead, has gone off track at Paddock Hill Bend. Oh, just a bit too wide there. Does keep it going, but Michael Seal in 8th place. A disappointing race for him for what could have been a potentially good one, having started on pole position. Just a few laps remaining for Bobby Thompson. He's been reeled in by Dobell. Ollie Peters with a very impressive race for him. Dave Newsham, something's happened. No, nothing's happened to him, but he has dropped a lot of positions. There was drama early on between him and Gavin Allen, I think it was. Now these two, they'll start their final lap. Oh, look at that. At the inside is Dobell. Oh, he couldn't quite keep hold of it. He had the inside, but Thompson had the cleaner line on the outside. And Dobell getting a bit out of shape. We know he's going for it. 1 lap to go. This time by, the white flag will wave for them. And here they go into Paddock Hill Bend now. Thompson does not defend on the inside. He keeps a nice wide line to make sure he gets a good run out of it and up to Druids. He does so, and look at this lunge from Dobell. He had to get out of it. A bit of a nudge up the rear of Thompson, but Thompson keeps hold of it, keeps to his lines, and drives out the corner, safe and sound. But there's only one more opportunity. You've got to save Dobell as they both go excessively wide coming out of Graham Hill Bend. As you mentioned, you can do that. Into the final corner, Thompson guards the inside, a lockup from Dobell, but it won't be enough. Thompson will exit the corner safe and sound. It'll be another sprint race win for Bobby Thompson. As I said earlier, how can this guy not have a drive in British touring cars at the moment? But he comes across the line to win sprint race 2 of the night. Michael Dobell, another 2nd place for him. Ollie Peters, an impressive 3rd place for him after what he called a disappointing race 1. Brilliant for him to get on the podium. Freddie Hewitt in 4th place. Dan Holland gets himself into 5th place. Lee Horne up 5 places to 6th place. Rather impressive from him. Morgan Short losing out to Lee Horne towards the end there. Gets 7th. Michael Seal in 8th place. Matt Allen, he'd be disappointed with himself having started 4th. Or 5th, one of them. He finishes 9th. Jamie Dorey, not as good as the first race, but 10th, still a top 10 running, and he'll start pole position for race 3, as it is a top 10 reversed based on the standings you can see there. Jamie Dorey will be pole position for race 2. Jackins just missed out on the top 10, but still gained 4 places throughout the race. He finished 11th. Will Foyle finished 12th, rather impressive from him. But we'll go to the official standings now. Here they are. Your race winner was Bobby Thompson, ahead of Mikey Dobell, Ollie Peters in 3rd, Freddie Hewitt 4th, and we'll continue from where we are. William Foyle finished 12th, Colin Martin 13th, Richard Pocklington in 14th, Gavin Allen dropping down the order after some drama, he's there in 15th, 16th for Matthew Addy. Dave Newsham, a disappointing for him, 17th place. He got involved in a spin early on in the race, which involved him and Colin Martin, I believe, actually. It was on lap 1, coming out of Graham Hill Bend. And Jeff Perkis in 18th place. So there we go. That was race 2 of the day. And we'll be going for a break now. And when we will come back, it will be the final race of the night. The 3rd race of the day. The sprint race of 15 minutes again. But the top 10 results of this race reversed. We'll see you very, very shortly. The GP Box is an online marketplace for motorsports merchandise and memorabilia. Browse for a whole range of motorsports products in all forms of motorsport. Take Formula 1 for example. There is a whole section dedicated to Formula 1 products from your favourite drivers, cars, teams or tracks from all eras of Formula 1. There are more series available, including WRC if you are a rally fan. You can even search for your favourite form of motorsport to see what products they have in your favourite forms of motorsport. Or, if yourself are a retailer in motorsport, you could set up your own shop within the GP Box to open up your products to a much bigger motorsport audience. Find out more at thegpbox.com. The GP Box is an online marketplace for motorsports merchandise and memorabilia. Browse for a whole range of motorsports products in all forms of motorsport. Take Formula 1 for example. There is a whole section dedicated to Formula 1 products from your favourite drivers, cars, teams or tracks from all eras of Formula 1. There are more series available, including WRC if you are a rally fan. You can even search for your favourite form of motorsport to see what products they have in your favourite forms of motorsport. Or, if yourself are a retailer in motorsport, you could set up your own shop within the GP Box to open up your products to a much bigger motorsport audience. Find out more at thegpbox.com. Welcome back to Brands Hatch for the NXTGEN Racing iRacing League in Season 20 here of NXTGEN's existence, but this iRacing League featuring the Legends Fords 34 Coupes, a free car on iRacing, one of the first cars you'll ever drive on iRacing if ovals are your thing. We're here at Brands Hatch Indy Circuit in Kent for round one of the championship. And a little bit of housekeeping before we get underway. These live streams are brought to you by ourselves, Crest Autosport. We are streaming to the NXTGEN Racing channels on Facebook. We're also streaming to Crest Autosport TV on YouTube and Twitch. So do give NXTGEN a like and follow on Facebook, and also give us a subscribe, as we are broadcasting these races every single week for the next 11 weeks, with the exception of the middle week being a week off. And if you understood that, we'll do that with a few more housekeeping duties. This is the season we are going to see over the next 11 weeks. Brands Hatch today, 2 races down, 1 more to go tonight. Next week we'll be off to Leicestershire for the Donington Park National Circuit. Over the water and to Lime Rock Park in Connecticut for round 3 of the championship. Round 4 will see us back to Britain for round 4 at Alton Park Island layout. Round 5 will be the Silverstone National layout. A week off in between rounds 5 and 6, round 6 of which will be the Snetterton 200 layout. Round 7, back over the pond, the Daytona bike course, not the road course, the bike layout of Daytona. And then over the pond again, but towards Australia to Oran Park, which is a track that no longer exists, demolished in Australia, but it still exists on iRacing, very similar to Suzuka, where it has a bridge where it crosses over itself. Round 9, and these final 2 rounds are slightly different. Whereas we've been circuit racing from rounds 1 to 8, round 9 will be the first of 2 oval editions on the calendar. The Bristol Motor Speedway, which is the smallest oval on iRacing's NASCAR circuit. And round 10 will be the final round at the Lanier Speed Park, a dirt oval. So we're actually using 3 different mediums of the 4 mediums iRacing provides, Rallycross being the 4th that we're missing. So quite a diverse league we've got in store here. All races are 15 minutes long per night, and this is race 3 coming up very, very shortly, where the top 10 finishers of race 2, will be reversed. So we'll get you the grid once we set over into the race. Get ready for that. But we've got the cars out on track at the moment. And it was Bobby Thompson who won race 1 and race 2. Very, very exciting driving from the ex-BTCC driver, the one and only Bobby Thompson, even though there's 3 of them on iRacing. But yeah, 2 emphatic wins for him, but it's going to be a little bit trickier in this race. He started 2nd in races 1 and 2, getting good starts to get into the lead early on, and a bit of battling on the way to the end, but he'll go from 10th this time around, so a little bit trickier. But him and Mikey Doble have been the quickest on the track today. Both have finished 1st and 2nd in both races, so both will be high up in the championship thus far, and both will be coming through the pack, trying to get as high as they can in race 3 very shortly. Your pole sitter will be Jamie Dorey. There he is, the man himself, getting a little bit of practice. He'll feel he needs it, and by that I mean he'll not want to mess this up. He'll be starting pole position here, so he'll want to get the most out of it, the most points that he can, as this is a championship, a long championship granted, but still points nonetheless on offer. You definitely want the best opportunity out of this. A good start is needed, good times are needed, and good hustling in the pack is needed. Ollie Peters, watching him now, he had not his best in race 1. As we mentioned earlier, mentioned on the Discord channel, I did pop in there. It was quite a disappointing race for him, but race 2, he more than made up for it by finishing 3rd, and getting nearer and nearer to Doble and Thompson towards the end. Dave Newsham, another ex-BTCC resident here in the Next Gen Championship. He had a simultaneous spin with who I believe was, I'm trying to remember the name, I think it was Colin Martin. I don't believe there was contact. I might have said there was contact, that's because of the camera view, but I don't think there was. Both came round simultaneously, is what I heard in the Discord anyway. But Dave Newsham going out for a little bit of practice with 1.5 minutes to go. A lot of drivers getting some practice here. See if there's any change in the weather. It's still the same temperature of 23 degrees and a same track temperature, so purely what these guys are doing is a little bit of warming up, trying to see if they can get a few more tenths out of themselves, ready for the race. And like we said earlier, whereas we've had qualifying sessions to introduce each race of the night, this one is a reverse grid, reversed from the results of race 2. And practice ending very, very shortly. We'll be moving on to qualifying in just a few seconds, not qualifying, the race in just a few seconds time, and we'll show you the grid once we do progress on. So here we go. The grid for this race will be as follows. That doesn't seem right to me, but according to we'll just switch off here and then we'll switch it back on. There we go, that's more like it. Jamie Dorey will start on pole position, having finished 10th. Matt Allen will be alongside him in 2nd place. Michael Seal will line up 3rd with Morgan Short in 4th. Lee Horne will start 5th. A good, impressive night so far from him. We'll see what he can do in this final race. Dan Holland, also a good night. He's in 6th. Freddie Hewitt on the 4th row. Alongside him is Ollie Peters. Mikey Doble in 9th with Bobby Thompson 10th. Jamie Jackins 11th with William Full in 12th. 13th and 14th, Martin and Pocklington. 15th and 16th will be Allen and Matthew Addy. Dave Newsham 17th, he'll hope for better in this race. He's alongside Jeff Perkis in the Mystery Machine. Gale and Whitehouse 20th. And away we go already. Race 3 is underway and it's a pretty good start from Jamie Dorey so far. He goes into turn 1 in the lead and I can't believe that picture's turned up. I didn't want that picture to turn up next to his name, but hey, it has. Into Druids he goes and he leads coming through turn 2. Matt Allen's behind. Bobby Thompson still in 10th. Look at this pack of cars batched together. Look at that, there was contact on. Oh, there was loads of, I couldn't catch what happened there, but Hewitt and Short have gone off. And Hewitt trying to push Short back on. So we're going to have to see that again. And there's lots going on here. Seigert's off as well. I have to see if we can catch that again. Just trying to find it. Do bear with me. Here we go. I couldn't quite work out what happened there, but Hewitt got collected. So if we go on board with Hewitt, we'll probably see what happened. That's not what I wanted to go on board with, but we'll catch up. It's happened nonetheless. That is pretty much an almost race over, but Matt Allen has got ahead of Jamie Dorey. Into the final corner they go. Into turn 1 they go. Matt Allen leads from Jamie Dorey. In 3rd place is Michael Seal. He started pole for race 2 and went off. Disappointing race for him. He'll hope for redemption here. And Bobby Thompson, our race 1 and race 2 winner, is out of this race. Now let me see if I can find out what happened to him. There's contact with Ollie Peters, and Ollie Peters turning back onto the track. Went into Bobby Thompson. Dear, but race over for Bobby Thompson. And we're watching Jamie Dorey's down to 4th. He's battling with Doble. And he hangs on to 4th place at the moment ahead of Doble. Allen just cruising away up front there. Seal in 2nd. Now he's one of the fastest guys on the track. He did get 2nd in qualifying, pole position in qualifying for race 2. Still a battle going on between Doble and Dorey at the moment. Ollie Peters involved with Bobby Thompson's incident earlier on. He's in 8th place now. Jeff Perkis is up 9 places to 9th. Thomas Delaney there up 12 places to 11th. Pretty impressive from him at the moment. Got to continue with these at the front here. Doble has got himself ahead of Jamie Dorey now. Here we go. Oh, a big Scandinavian flick almost going into the corner then. Jamie Dorey went wide. Brilliant move from Doble there. although he's 3.5 seconds down. One might put their money on Doble winning this race, having finished second in races 1 and 2, battling for the lead in both. His work was made a little bit trickier in race 2, but he managed to get through. And towards Bobby Thompson and battle for top spot. Lee Horne back there now. Lee Horne has jinxed himself. He's not been involved in an incident all race. It happened earlier on in this race, and he's down in 18th, 19th, I believe. Allen still leads as he goes on to lap 6. Seal, second place ahead of Holland. Doble in 4th place, trying to catch up to the top 3. Jamie Dorey in 5th place, the pole sitter for this race. Down to 5th at the moment, and he's got Colin Martin behind him. Real close to the bumper of Jamie Dorey there, and he's got alongside him coming down towards Graham Hill Bend. Not able to get past, trying an undercut. Is he going to have enough of a run on the inside of Jamie going into Surtees? Just about, but Jamie Dorey holds off the inside going into the Jim Clark curve now and hangs on. But trying the undercut now still as Jamie Dorey does go wide. Colin Martin is up the inside of Jamie Dorey, and this might get him into 5th place. It has. Jamie Dorey slots back behind, but Jamie Dorey's fighting back up the inside with a big draft on the front straight there. Up the inside of Martin he goes, and he'll have the inside for Druids Bend. Brilliant battling back from Jamie Dorey, as behind him is a bit of a queue developing in the likes of Gavin Allen and Ollie Peters in the green and blue cars behind them. Martin still on the inside of Dorey. This is brilliant battling from the two, and they come together eventually. They did come together, and they go off into the Armco there, and that'll be, well, it won't be race over, but they'll be much further down the order. And can we get just a quick replay of that just to see what actually happened between the two? And Jamie Dorey not given enough room by the looks of it to Martin there. Martin hasn't had the best of luck tonight, you've got to say. But that drops them down much further down the order to 14th and 15th. Promoting Peters and Holland up. Peters has managed to get by Gavin Allen, but Gavin Allen fights back and might have got himself back in front. No, Ollie fights back. And they get through that corner much safer than Jamie Dorey and Colin Martin did. Look at that, Jack Burkus is up 11 places to 7th at the moment. Brilliant from Scooby G himself in the Mystery Machine. Allen and Peters, the battle raging on between them still. Side by side, coming across the start-finish line. Peters has the inside, going into Paddock Hill Bend, and will take the position, but will it be enough? He does go wide. He's able to keep it on the black stuff this time. And he's ahead going into Druids. That is 5th place at the moment for Ollie Peters. Jeff Burkus will try and catch up with these two. With them battling was allowing him to catch up. Will he be able to stay with them? Now they've dispersed. But let's get back with the front. Closing in ever so slightly on Matt Allen is Michael Seal. We know what he's potential of with getting pole position for race 2. But he's got the runner-up in race 1 and 2 behind him in Mikey Doble. The two Michaels hunting down Matthew in front. Dan Holland, you can't forget about him in 4th place. He'll try desperately to catch up with this top 3 and get in amongst the battle. Gavin Allen getting a little bit out of shape coming out of Druids there. Losing a bit of time from Ollie Peters, and there's a lock up there from someone, but they did get away with it by the looks of it. It might have been Ollie Peters pushing desperately hard to try and catch back up. And Doble got up the inside of Michael Seal. We'll just get a replay of that quickly before we continue. on the curb, and Seal went wide, and through did go Doble. So let's catch up. Into second place he goes, up 7 places from his starting position of nut. Brilliant for Mikey Doble at the moment, and there's still time for him to catch up with the leader and take a win in this race if he can catch up with Matt Allen, who we've got to say has driven brilliantly so far. He's just kept everyone away, he's just kept clean, hooking up those corners right every single time. Can he keep it up? We'll find out. Seal dropping away a little bit from Doble. Said on our Facebook live chat earlier that he stuffed that opportunity, referring to a mistake in race 2 which cost him a battle with Doble for second place and potentially first place with Bobby Thompson. Starting pole position in that race. However, a podium position here will certainly lift his spirits. Now, Gavin Allen is not letting Ollie Peters get away from him here. We'll just go back to them. Ollie Peters is not exactly breaking away. Oh, and there's a spin there from Adam Gale. It was just a 90-degree spin, but he'll losing positions to Tom Delaney and Lee Horne, and potentially Hewitt. Yes, Hewitt gets by. But Gale, in one of the 3 Fast R Esports machines, drops to 10th. After what was looking like a promising race for him, back behind his teammate, and speaking of which, is his other teammate still here in 3rd place. They close in ever so slightly towards Matt Allen, but they're going to have to be a lot faster than this with 4 minutes to go and 1.6 seconds to catch up with Matt Allen. Doble did do it with Bobby Thompson in race 2. There's no saying he can't do it with Matt Allen in this race. Biggest mover of the race so far, though. We've got to give credit to 8th place runner Thomas Delaney. Fantastic running from him, up 15 places from the start to 8th at the moment in the 555 machine there. Brilliant driving from Delaney. This is a battle for 13th. Jamie Dorey versus Colin Martin again. The two came together earlier on at Graham Hill Bend. Will Colin be looking for revenge? A bit of a nudge up the rear of Jamie Dorey. In fact, was that a revenge act? I'm not entirely sure. There's a bit of damage on Martin's car. In fact, there is on Jamie Dorey's car as well, on the front right wheel arch. That will not be helping their pace. The aerodynamic model on iRacing is very comprehensive indeed. Little bit of damage will cost you a big amount of pace. And alongside Colin Martin on the outside of Jamie Dorey, down into the corner they go. Graham Hill Bend, Colin trying the undercut, and they have got Dave Whitehouse in front of them, helping them along, I suppose. Oh, and a lock up there from Colin Martin. I did think he went into that corner a little bit sharpish. We rejoin these front 3. Now Matt Allen might be losing the pace a little bit, might be dropping off a little bit, as Mikey Doble is just outside of a second from him, but only 2 minutes to go. Matt Allen can hang on to this. The 88 machine can hang on to it with a second gap to Doble behind, but Doble has been the man who's come second all night long. Will he want another second place? I doubt he will. Now there's something's happened further back. There's been an incident from Dave Whitehouse. Going into Druids, presumably. This is Jamie Dorey behind him. I'm not sure where Colin Martin has gone. Oh, and he collects Jamie Dorey. Nothing Jamie could do there. He was just a passenger there. As something happened to... Oh, no, we'll catch up. Something did happen to Colin Martin. We're not able to capture it, unfortunately. There is Jamie Dorey, still in 13th, battling with Matthew Addy. Nine tenths. with a minute to go. There will be one more lap to go when they pass the start finish line next time by. Matt Allen leads. He didn't start pole position, he started second place. He got a great start getting past Jamie Dorey, and he's kept the lead since, but 8 tenths between him and Doble on the final lap here as we start it now. Final lap. Doble is stretched away from Seal, so he doesn't have to worry about him. All he can focus on is the car ahead of him, of Matt Allen. He really is against time here. Sticks to 5 tenths behind now. Doble is definitely the faster of the two, but there's not much time. Down into Graham Hill Bend. All Allen has to do is hook it up and keep to his lines. 4 tenths between them. You can see how close it's getting, but this is the final opportunity you've got to save for Doble, unless Matt Allen messes up here, breaking into the Jim Clark curve, and he went a little bit wide. Is Doble able to get the undercut? I don't think so. This might well go to Matthew Allen. He is the winner of race 3 here in the Next Gen Racing Brands Hatch Indy round 1. Race 3, well deserved from Matt Allen there from the start. Mikey Doble, you've got to take your hat off to him. My driver of the day today has got to be him, as he's battled through the pack in multiple races today to finish second 3 times in a row, and probably our championship leader after today. Mikey Seal will come through in third after what he called a disappointing race 3, where he was leading it, he was on pole position. Third he'll be happy with, surely. Dan Holland in 4th place, Ollie Peters in 5th, another top 5 placing from him. Gavin Allen finished 6th in the end. Jeff Perkis up 11 places to 7th, but Thomas Delaney can't capture his car as he's already gone to the pits, but 15 places gained to 8th for him. Freddie Hewitt finished 9th in the end after contact with someone earlier on in the race. Adam Gale in 10th. Morgan Short in 11th, and we'll go through the results now as they all have crossed the line. So there's your results of the final race of the night. Matt Allen takes the win just in front by 2 tenths ahead of Mikey Doble. Michael Seal in 3rd place. We'll continue from where we were. Morgan Short finished 11th. Colin Martin involved in drama with Jamie Dorey. They both finished 12th and 13th. Richard Pocklington in 14th, 15th was David Whitehouse. Matthew Addy finished 16th with William Fall in 17th, and Jochen Seiger 18th. Non-finishers, I believe, or laps down finishers, were Lee Horne, Tom Porter, Bobby Thompson, Jamie Jackins and Dave Newsham. Well, it's been an exciting night of racing here at Brands Hatch Indy. This has been round 1 of the championship. Round 2 is next week, which will be at the Donington Park National Layout in 1 week today. Do tune in to the Next Gen Facebook page to watch it live yet again, presented by myself, or you can watch it on the Crest Autosport YouTube and Twitch channels if you have watched on there tonight. But this has been the Next Gen Racing iRacing Season 10 opening round of the season in the Legends here at Brands Hatch. We'll see you in 1 week's time at Donington Park. Thank you very much for watching.